Hello friends, my name's James. And this is my 1965 Alberg 30 sloop SV Tritea. I have been slowly sailing solo around the world since leaving Los Angeles in 2021. This is Rhonda, a Kiwi sailor who joined me full-time once I reached Sydney. Join us while we explore Indonesia, see the struggles and the magic that come with sailing in Southeast Asia. From the Spice Islands, to the stilt villages, to Komodo, and beyond. This is Indonesia. So we decided after leaving we're gonna reroute. We were gonna go to the island of Padar and do this hike, pretty touristy spot, but the winds were stronger than forecasted and a different direction than forecasted. And it's a little funny because now the new forecast that I just downloaded says that there's going to be like 12 knots of wind blowing into that anchorage at Padar, so we don't want to have like a sloppy night. So we're gonna we kind of repointed for this other island at this place called Turtle Point. It's supposed to have a bunch of mooring balls. It's like Monday, so this is kind of an ideal day to be out here because there's less like tourist boats out. They mostly swarm out on the weekends. Check out this tree. Like a full-on tree floating over there. So we're hoping one of these moorings is free because there's like good snorkeling over here and all that stuff. So gotta roll with the punches when you're cruising and go from there. Weren't a lot of good options for, like, the winds were forecasted to be westerly, but they're actually south. Or I'm sorry, the winds were forecasted to be easterlies, but they're actually south-southwesterlies. And those other anchorages aren't good for kind of either one of those wind directions. There's not a lot of protection from either one of those wind directions for the majority of the Komodo Park without going kind of past the Komodo Park downwind of everything. So that's where we're at. Pointing for a new spot. We're currently 4 miles from the moorings, and we'll see if there's one free for us. Really intense currents right here, and that local boat was fighting that tidal race, just like almost standing still at one point. It's crazy how the water's standing up over there. Really, really intense currents that run through this part of Indonesia. So right as we were getting here, 2 tour boats came in just ahead of us and picked up the last 2 moorings. So we're gonna push on for another island, which is another 6 miles away. I'm bummed. It sucks having to compete with all these boats. And the other bummer is, like, they're not even gonna spend the night. They're gonna stay there a couple hours and then they're gonna somewhere else. But that's the reality of it. We're lucky it's a weekday, there's less of these boats, but now we're gonna go to a spot where we can anchor, but we have to anchor in 50 feet of water, which is a real bummer for me because I hand haul up. But it is what it is. So, push on and see how long it takes us to get there. We were doing like almost 8 knots in this insane current, and then right into this big eddy. Everything's smooth. Look at it. Super crazy currents in here.
Holy shit.
We are anchored in 50 feet of water. It grabbed well, so it's in sand. We have 4 scope out, so just over 200 feet of chain. There's some kind of like random mooring not far from us that's not listed. It must be a private mooring, but I don't think we'll get tangled up in it. Seems like good snorkeling just straight off the boat. There's a pier and it's supposed to be a cool hike here, so this is a good spot for us to spend the night, maybe 2 nights depending on. We're gonna check the winds, see what they're up to for tomorrow. We might just stay here again tomorrow night and just take in this little island. Do you know the name of this island?
No, I don't actually.
Sebayur. Sebayur. S-E-B-A-Y-U-R. Sebayur. That's the name of this spot. I don't believe this is actually in the Komodo National Park, and it's like one of the closest spots to Bajo. So that's one of, there's like a ton of boats in the anchorage adjacent to us, but we have this little spot by the pier all to ourselves at the moment, and we're happy to be here. Good morning from Sebayur Island. There's this really cool rock formation that we went and checked out yesterday at sunset called the 7 Mushrooms or something like that. And the coral looked out of this world from just looking in the water from the dinghy. So we're gonna head over now. It's like coming on to slack high water and see if we can snorkel it. It's a little tricky. Like yesterday when we went, there was more than a 2-knot current ripping around the rocks. So I think the way we're gonna have to do it is we're gonna get in the water. I'm gonna tie the dinghy to my waist and we're just gonna do a drift snorkel depending on the current situation. But the water's high enough now that we should be able to see a lot wider area than it was at low tide earlier. Much of that area was exposed at low tide. So let's go peekaboo at this snorkel spot and see what it's all about.
Pretty.
Awesome. So we're gonna sit here a second and see what the dinghy does. Drift wise, it seems like the current's pretty mellow right now compared to what it was yesterday when we were here. Get suited up and get in the water.
Sorted?
So we had a pretty epic snorkel, and now we're gonna go on a hike because the weather's moody. It's nice and cool. We thought about doing this hike yesterday, but it was too hot, right?
Yeah, it was too hot. It was just, yeah, full sun. Lynn thought about doing it this morning, but didn't get to it. But then, yeah, this afternoon it just feels a bit of a breeze and slight cloud. So, seems like the right time to do it.
Perfect hiking conditions for sure. We made it to the summit. It's pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
What did it take us, like 40 minutes roughly?
Yeah, probably about that. We stopped a lot though
Yeah.
on the way out and take photos and stuff. So
It wasn't too strenuous. The heat and the humidity is the most challenging thing.
Yeah, it was like 3:30 when we left, and it's like we're drenched.
Yeah. What do you think the
And-
temperature is Celsius?
Probably about 29. 30.
Yeah, and I'm guessing it's like 88 degrees, 89 degrees. Probably feels like in the 90s.
Yeah, it's been averaging like 31, and there were a couple of days that meant to be getting to 32, so maybe it has been up to 32 today. I'm not really sure. I haven't checked the temperatures today.
But yeah,
very humid.
Yeah, nice with the overcast though.
Yeah.
And we weren't getting baked by the sun at least.
Absolutely.
But man, the worth every step. These views are
spectacular.
Out of this world, really. Especially with this like crazy moody light, very cinematic, and looks like a sci-fi painting or something. It's just like, and there's this Mondo Island in the distance that we're gonna go anchor at.
Guess it's a big volcano.
Yeah, it's huge. It's way bigger than I thought it was gonna be. It's shockingly big.
We were just saying before that we're so used to looking at like navionics and maps and stuff, everything being flat, that when you actually get a bit of height up and you can see around you and see the height of things, it puts it into a way different perspective. Especially as well, like I found really interesting when we were in Australia and we did that hike Whitsunday and got up high, and then when I looked at islands on the map, you had like more of an idea of what you were actually looking at because you'd seen it from this angle. Such a buzzy thing. Yeah, super cool. Yeah, you definitely like have no, and not that you need to, but you don't really think about the elevation when you're looking at sea charts. But then when in real life, it is like, it's interesting when you're coming up to something though, like to know, well not to know, but to have some idea of, like, because we're going to places we've never been or seen, every single thing is something new and we have no idea what we're coming up against. And it's like, sometimes we go to an island, you're like, you know, you think, oh, you turn up to it and it's flat, you know, and you're like, you're not sure, or, you know, we turn up to these places and there's no island or no land at all, and then you get to places and it's like you're surrounded with, you know, height, and it's like, it's so trippy, like the different perspective it is. Tual was like that, because it was like, it said it was low on the, in the, like, cruising guide and stuff, but it was very low. It was shockingly low, so. Yeah. It's really cool. And now we have this scene that's just so rad. Crazy. Good morning from Makassar Reef. We moved over here at like first light this morning. Very mellow 2-hour motor, 8 miles. And we're on a mooring right in the middle of the reef. This is the closest spot to Manta Point. So it's very beautifully still out right now. We're gonna hop in the dinghy and drive a mile outside of the lagoon and see if we can find some manta rays. Rhonda has yet to see manta rays, and I really hope we find some for her to swim with. I hope so too. What'd you think of the water this morning when we jumped in? Amazing. So nice, and no stinging jellies, which is good. But really, really beautiful temperature, and so clear. Visibility is just clear. On point. Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be a really cool snorkel. Yeah, let's do it. Just here? Yeah, stand up and look at it. I can see it. It's fucking enormous. Oh my god. Maybe he'll turn back. Alright, we're on the site. We already saw one big sea angel and manta ray. So we're going to try to see if we can get on them and spend some time with them. And the viz is out of this world.
Amazing, amazing snorkel with the mantas. Totally unreal. And now we're on this pink sand cay. What'd you think of the mantas? Oh, look at that.
I guess it's just like pink coral.
Yeah.
A little ground up. It's really cool. The mantas were insane. I was like a little bit like thinking, am I gonna be scared? And then like getting my gear on and getting in the water with the GoPro before James was like in there by myself with these big creatures, and I was like, initially like before I jumped off I was like, oh shit, and then got in, and then once I saw them and I was swimming with them, I was like, all good. It's about like the sharks, really.
Yeah.
The same thing.
It's the
like,
same thing. They're
like
just sweethearts once
you
you get
build
in.
up this like anxiety around it, and then when you're actually in there doing it with them, it's super magical, and there's just no fear at all. It's so cool. It's like, I don't know, being underwater is just like another whole world. It's like a meditation for sure.
They're so
It's
peaceful
like,
too, and massive, huge creatures.
It's so cool. They're amazing. It was so neat. We're lucky. So like maybe, what, 4 or 5 maybe?
Chartea is just across the way. And, oh, there's a little shark swimming. Oh, he saw us. Little black tip. And yeah, we're just gonna hang out and head back.
Oh, he's tiny.
A little baby shark.
little fella.
Look at him. They're messing with him too, right?
Yeah.
If you enjoy the content on this channel and would like to contribute, you can consider joining the Patreon crew. Thanks for watching. Fair winds until next time.